Yeah, surprise. My grandfather had an affair. Yeah.
I think that was very common back then.
Apparently, yeah. And he had another kid, and she had been put up for adoption. And so she was looking for her family, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Life with the Sherry on Top. I am your host, Sherry Hagan, and today I am joined by my friend, Kimmy. Hey, Kim.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for asking.
So today I want to talk about the pros and cons of looking up your ancestry. And I know no better person to talk about this with than you, because you are, first of all, you're an expert at this. You should be like a genealogist.
I wish I was.
Well, you could be.
Yeah, it's still a lot of practice. There's a lot of background you have to learn.
There is, but like that's why I went to you when I was doing it, because you know all those things already.
Yeah, I was on a hunt.
You are on a hunt. We both were, actually. Yeah, so I want to talk about the pros and cons, because there's good and bad about what you can find out, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So if you're on a mission, like I was on a mission because I had always felt my entire life that I had been lied to about my mom's side of the family. So I was told that my mother's mother died and my mother's father died, and they both died of strokes, according to the stories that I heard. Not simultaneously, not at the same time, but that they had both passed away of strokes. And I didn't buy that. And then I knew of a brother that had passed away, but I didn't know the circumstances. And that was it. That's all I knew. I only knew my father's side of the family growing up. And so I was on a mission to try to figure out what was going on. And I went on Ancestry.com and I got, some information right away, but then Kimmy had to come and, I don't know, like help me navigate through the website.
Yeah.
Because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, because there's a lot of info out there.
Oh my God, I think there's too much info out there. I, of course, learned that story was full of shit. So my ancestry on my mother's side her mother was alive to be 101 years old and lived in Texas and had died maybe 2 years before I started looking.
Wow.
And then her father had passed away, but I believe it was a mining accident. I think he was a miner in West Virginia. She had a sister that I knew absolutely nothing about, and a shitload of half brothers and sisters from the second marriage of her mother, which then I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense to me, because all the time I am always told, wow, you look so familiar. And before I was a realtor, that was happening. Now I just attribute it to, oh, good, my marketing's working, But back then I was like, I got nothing. Like, I don't know why you think I look so familiar. But my mom's sister actually lived in Naperville. And so she had a bunch of kids, and they are local, right? So I have cousins around the area.
But you never looked for them.
Well, no, because I know that's a thing for you. Like, you always want to meet people, and I wouldn't mind meeting them, but I'm certainly not going to go seek them out and like knock on their door and be like, hey, I'm your long lost cousin that you probably didn't even know existed. So no, I did not go looking for them. So I know you were looking for your genealogy for an entirely different reason. Do you want to share that reason?
Sure. I was looking for my biological father.
There you go. And it took how long?
It took several years because there was no information. I was getting nothing.
Yeah.
But I did find out a lot about, my mom's side of the family and everything else. But it took probably 312 or whatever it is.
Oh, the 21andMe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It took that one for me to get a little bit more information. But then all of a sudden, Ancestry came up with this name, and it was really close to my aunt's. You know, there's like levels in your DNA.
Yeah.
Whoever does their DNA, it starts to profile.
Right.
And if you have any connection, then they start ranking it.
Yeah.
And my aunt was first, my sister was second, and then this Brian name was there. And I was like, it's either a cousin or a brother, you know. So I emailed him, didn't get anything from him, because you can email them through Ancestry also. And that's where I found a lot of relatives coming back at me when they found me. They're like, oh, you know, your grandma, blah, 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 blah. And
yeah,
that was neat.
So was Brian doing Ancestry?
He just did his DNA.
Okay. So
that's all he did.
Okay. Because you can't just email them if they don't have the information.
No, because
public.
he's not even on Facebook or nothing.
Right.
But you can, through the Ancestry, you can email them and say, hey, whatever.
Hey, we're related.
Exactly. Hey, why are we so similar? What's going on? You know?
Okay. And from there, you found your biological father.
Yes.
All right. Who she never met, by the way.
No, I did not want to disrupt. And that was not my goal. My goal was not to disrupt. I just needed answers.
Right.
And I got my answers, and I was fine with that.
So I think that's the best thing about looking at your DNA and stuff is you do find answers. Sometimes you just don't find the answers you're looking for.
Or the answers you like.
Right. Exactly. I know when this is weird to me because my aunt does a lot of the ancestry stuff.
Yeah.
For like my father's side of the family.
Okay.
And I had signed up and I had done the whole DNA thing. And I did that mostly because I just wanted to learn, like, you know, am I English? Am I Irish? Am I German? Am I,
That's
you know,
the majority
whatever.
of the people do it for.
Yeah. So I did. And sure enough, I'm Irish and English and I don't know, a little bit of mutt, but mostly those two things. And that's the reason I had done it. And then not that long ago, I don't know who discovered whom, but I have a half aunt from that nobody knew about until I guess she said she reached out to me
through
on Ancestry, but I never got anything. But I don't keep my account active, so I'm assuming that's why, because I never got anything from her. Somehow, either she got in touch with other people in the family, or other people in the family found out and got a hold of her for somehow. I don't know. Yeah, surprise! My grandfather had an affair. Yeah,
I think that was very common back then.
Apparently, yeah. And he had another kid, and she had been put up for adoption. And so she was looking for her family, you know?
Yeah.
While my aunts welcomed her with open arms, my father's like, yeah, no, I don't need to know anything. I don't need to know, you know?
Yeah.
And he just is kind of burying his head in the sand, which is fine. He's 80 years old, and if he doesn't want to know, then he doesn't want to know. But it's interesting that those kinds of things can happen when you're looking because, boy, sometimes you really don't know what you're going to find out.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like, you know, finding out that you're half Polish and you didn't even know it.
I know. That was so funny. Well, it's so funny to me because Kimmy used to say all the time she was sure she was Italian.
Well, that's what I was told. I was Italian. All my life, you know, I was half Italian. Well, do that DNA and you find out you're not half Italian, you're half Polish.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love that you are so familiar with all of this and can help guide people through it. You know, you should actually charge for that, honestly. You can make a whole career out of it.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun finding really cool facts out. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, my great 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 grandfather was with Lincoln. Oh my goodness. It's just
Yeah.
weird, but cool.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I totally get that. There were, I guess after I opened the can of worms, I just closed it again. I was like, okay, there's my worms. And now I know. And I'm done.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can't. I needed to go on. I mean, seriously, looking so far back in history, and when you get like the census and you see, and it's so politically incorrect.
Oh my God, I know. It's hilarious.
To see, how many slaves did you have? You
Yeah.
know, did they read? Did they, and the weird questions that they asked you back then versus now, it's different. It's weird.
Yeah, they don't do that on the census these days.
No, not at all.
Actually, funny enough, I just filled out our census. We just got it in the mail yesterday. What do you think some of the cons are of doing this? Aside from, I think a big con to me, and I think it's why I literally found out what I needed to find out for my own well-being, I think for my own sanity. And then I stopped. I think because it's so time consuming.
That it is. How I started it is I broke my leg and I was sitting. I had to sit for long periods of time. So I'm like, I might as well start doing something. And that's what I did. I started doing the DNA because of that. And then, the ancestry. And then I just kept on going.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But trying to find the time to do it. Yeah. You just can't say, oh, I'm going to do it for an hour because it doesn't
work that way.
You get lost.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up before you came over. I looked up, okay, if I wanted to hire a genealogist, right?
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
They're expensive.
They are expensive. That's why I'm telling you. You could like coach people and charge them money, because it said for as low as $3,500, and I'm sure that's like the low introductory rate.
Exactly. We'll just get you swimming, and then you find it when you get out to the sea. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Yep. It is crazy.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had talked with I almost said step aunt. That's not right. My half aunt. Very nice woman. I enjoyed speaking to her. She looks exactly like that side of the family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she looks just like her half sisters, for sure. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, you are definitely one of us. That conversation happened because my two other aunts were speaking to her on a regular basis. So I just kind of joined in on the conversation.
Got it.
And you've talked to
my aunt.
Yeah. So your biological father's
sister-in-law.
Oh, sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. My biological father had two brothers. He passed away. His name is Ed. He passed away like 22 years ago. But his wife, I'm in contact with his wife.
Okay.
Which would be my aunt. And they have two kids, and then they have kids.
Yeah.
So I have no siblings. I'm so thankful.
Now, see, for me, I always wanted to be a part of a big family.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a part of a big family. And obviously I never was, because I was the only child in my family. So to find out that I have all these cousins, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
However, I don't know how to approach them and be like, so what's up? You want to go have a drink? I wouldn't know what to say or do. So I've done nothing.
Well, you need to get out there. You need to say, hi, we're related.
I don't know. I don't even know my login account for it anymore.
You could start a new one.
I would have to start from scratch. I mean, they email me. Ancestry emails me almost on a daily basis. You have a new hint. They call them hints when they find somebody linked to your DNA or whatever.
Yeah, the little leaf.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So, but then I hit that to go. Sometimes I'm like, all right, let me find out who it is or whatever.
Then you have to pay.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so. I
well,
think you
I
have
also
to pay.
don't know how to log in because I did this.
You can, I'll show you how to log in. All you have to do is put in your email address.
Yeah, but I have like 7,000 email addresses.
Well, then you start from or you could request what was my email address.
Okay.
And you can request also your
Password.
or change your password. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll have to do that. So you have to pay just to look at
I don't think you have to
leaf?
pay to look at the leaf. I really don't think so. I think it's just I think it's just to create your story, to create
right.
your tree.
Yeah.
And to grab all the information that's out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's hard when you have in your family, Simon Peter and a Peter Simon.
Yeah.
It's just very hard when, and you've got to really watch the dates because back then they used to name their kids after the father.
Right.
And they would just leave off the 2 and the 1 and the 3. And
yeah.
So you have to really look at the dates. So it takes forever.
It does. It takes such a long time, which again is why I stopped because I just don't have that kind of time. And you don't either, but you had a broken leg.
Yeah.
So
that's what started it. So now I try to do a little bit every so often. Like in the summertime, I can try to focus a little bit more on it than I do in the wintertime.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I think you can can you find out medical stuff from that?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. That's 23andMe is also like that too, where you can find medical stuff out.
Through your DNA or
mm-hmm.
through?
Yeah, through your DNA. Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't think when I did it, well, I know I didn't do it or I would remember. I just remember like finding out.
Your traits. Well, 23andMe is a little different. They do traits and they do health stuff. You have to pay extra for the health stuff. But, I just go to the doctor. So that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you pay a little extra for the health stuff, and then the traits. They ask you questions, and you answer your questions, and they say, "Oh, majority of the people in your family are, this. You're just like them, or whatever."
Yeah. Huh.
I don't do too much with 23andMe. I like my Ancestry because my tree and.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I mean, I didn't do the medical part, but I do remember the most shocking thing to me was that I was 11% Italian.
Yeah.
And Kevin always says, "Oh yeah, that's the 11% that you talk with your hands with." So, because for those who don't know, I am very fair skinned. I mean, I am clearly Irish and English, like for sure. I already knew that without even looking it up. But the 11% Italian, really, and I'm blonde haired and blue eyed. So, well. Not so blonde anymore. I don't know. What the hell do you call this color?
I don't know. Blonde. I'll stick with blonde.
Dishwater blonde-ish?
Yeah. No, a little lighter than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so there you have it, folks. If you need to find your ancestors or you need to find out about your health or if you're just curious about, I think kids just are very intuitive and know when their parents are lying to them. No, really.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I was like, really? Both your parents died of a stroke? That's really coincidental.
Very, very convenient,
Yes. Yeah. No.
Do you know they use DNA now? So when you sign up, they'll ask you a question. Do you want the police to get a hold of your DNA? Because now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're using a DNA system for finding crime. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, go right ahead.
Yeah.
And I pray every day that it's not a family member that I know.
Yeah. Well, my whole family's police. I'd be shocked but yeah, I didn't even know they asked that question.
Yeah. Now they have to ask that question.
So you can say no. So if you're a criminal, you can say, no, you can't use my DNA.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're a criminal is going to actually do their DNA.
No, they do. That's how they've caught a lot of people.
But but they traced it through other people's DNA.
Oh.
Yeah. See,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so through other people's DNA. So like mine. So if they'll ask me, can we use your DNA if looking for a criminal? Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any criminals?
I have 2 uncles that have been in and out, half uncles, been in and out of jail down Southern Illinois.
Oh.
Yeah.
See what you can find out? You guys, it's interesting and scary all at the same time. So be careful before you open Pandora's box.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
But if you want to know, I mean, I just think it's so much better that you can know if you want to.
But all right, there is a story that I was just watching on TV not too long ago about this famous guy, not sure names or anything like that, but this famous guy donated his
Sperm
to the sperm bank, right?
Yeah.
Well, now that this DNA thing, now he's passed on.
Okay.
Okay. But now these people are doing this DNA and they're finding out there's a lot of relatives out there. They're all related, all these people.
Yeah.
And the family, the kids that found out who their father was, they have gotten together.
Yeah.
And created their own family. But
which is cool, but sperm banks are not allowed to do that. I mean, it does happen.
They're not, but DNA, now that you're doing your DNA, you can find out who your parents are.
Yeah.
Without the sperm bank even saying anything.
Yeah.
And that's how these adults now are finding out who their dad was. And there's a lot of kids out there.
No. There is a lot of kids out there.
That are his.
Right. Yeah. Well, oddly, I didn't know about, nobody in my family knew about my grandfather's other daughter.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knew. Because my grandfather died when I was like 2, so I don't really remember him, but I wonder if he knew. He had to know, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, was she around?
No, she gave the baby up for adoption.
But did he know that she might have kept it a secret and didn't tell him?
Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. So many questions. And that's the thing about it is you get questions answered, but then it just leads to more questions.
Exactly.
Right.
You're never going to get your final solution.
Right. You're never. Yeah.
You're always opening up a new door, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just really wanted to talk about that because I find it A, fascinating, and B, difficult. And so I wanted to talk with you about it specifically because you really know what you're doing. And
at least I try.
No, she really does. She knows what she's doing when it comes to this thing. And it's not as easy to navigate as you would think.
No.
At least for me, it's not. And
no, it's hard. They could make it a little more easier. They try. They just update their system and to make it a little more people friendly.
Okay.
So every time somebody, more people get on it, the more they try to simplify it for others and make it easy. So,
well, I'll have to log back on eventually just to see if
I'll help you. Don't
my half aunt has, because I don't know. I never got her email. I feel really bad because I feel like she doesn't believe me, but I swear I did not get your email.
Yeah, it would be through Ancestry that you would have gotten it. So.
Yeah. No, they didn't notify me. I mean, I get a leaf just about every day and it's usually the same people.
Well, I can help you build.
Yeah, I know. See, hire Kim and she will help you find out. Yeah. So that's all. I just wanted to talk about it and get people interested in it. And I'd love to hear stories about what you guys found out as listeners. So if you have found anything interesting that you want to share, let me know. You can email me at lifewithasherryontop@gmail.com, or you can just go to the website, which is www.lifewithasherryontop.com. And again, Sherry is spelled Cheri. Thank you so much for joining me, Kimmy.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.